Well, good afternoon, everyone. And thank you for gathering today. It's a beautiful day. My name is Gary Yako, and I'm the mayor of Red Wing, and I want to welcome you after the truck goes by. At least it doesn't have cattle. I'd like to welcome you to our ribbon cutting celebration. We are honored to have all of you here today that have worked so hard to make this project a reality. And we're especially thankful to our host, Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan. Thank you very much for being with us today in Calgary. We appreciate it. We're standing in front of this beautiful new road and the overpass that's been in the works for decades. Discussion and plans began in the early 1990s. And thanks to the persistence, the dedication, and collaboration, this project is finally complete. One of the state's most dangerous rail intersections is no more. And everyone who lives and visits Prairie Island is much safer. These results came from many years of diligence from folks who work at Prairie Island Indian Community, and we thank you very much for that. The state of Minnesota, the city of Red Wing, and our consultants at Kimley Horn and Santec and the CPKC Rail. I want to send a special shout out to those who've worked on this project years ago in their earlier positions, including former Tribal Council President Johnny Johnson, former Red Wing Mayor Mike Wilson, who can't be with us today because he is picking up the bar for the beer tent for the Elks River City days. Former Representative John Klein and former Minnesota State Representative Barb Haley, who is with us today. Thank you all very, very much for your diligence. The city of Red Wing especially values its partnership and friendship with Prairie Island, and we are thrilled to celebrate this safety improvement together. I would now like to turn the microphone over to Tribal Council Secretary Valentina M. Janey, who is serving her third term in the council.
Good afternoon and welcome to Tintawinta, our Prairie Island. I am Valentina M. Janey, Secretary of the Prairie Island Indian Community Tribal Council. I want to acknowledge my fellow Tribal Council member, Michael Childs Jr., and any community members who joined us on this special day. I also want to acknowledge the work of our staff and past tribal leaders who worked tirelessly to make today a reality. And a special thank you to the Prairie Island Police Department, Public Works Department, and Treasure Island Security for all their efforts to assist with the traffic flow and management during construction. Your work in keeping us safe and moving was greatly appreciated. Bidamiaye. The completion of the Sturgeon Lake Road overpass is incredibly important to our tribe and has been a long time coming. The project's impact cannot be overstated. For many years, we voiced our safety concerns about the dangerous rail crossings and the threat it posed to our community. Most people who visit Prairie Island don't realize that Sturgeon Lake Road is the only reliable access point on and off the reservation. And until this overpass was complete, access was blocked several times a day by passing trains, some carrying hazardous materials such as crude oil. The dangers that our community faced were real, so today's ceremony marking the opening of the overpass is very important to our community and our members. It represents hope for a safer future. We are grateful for the work of all involved in moving the critical project forward, including Governor Tim Walz, Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, and Red Wing City leaders. On behalf of our entire community, I say, Piyamiaye. Thank you. I'd now like to invite Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan to say a few words.
Thank you so much. I am so excited to be here today. My family and I were recently here for the Wasipi, and we drove over this bridge for the first time, and I literally burst into tears. because we have had conversations about this for many, many years, and the need for this bridge to be built. And I think this bridge is not just a symbol of safety, it is a symbol of collaboration and partnership, of literal bridge building together. And was so excited that on the way back, I might have taken a video, right, and sent it to the governor to say, it's done, which he appreciated. I got a heart emoji, so. But we'll also say this, everyone deserves to feel safe, no matter where they live. And this bridge is an important part of people feeling safe in their homes, in their communities, the countless people who come here to visit. I was talking to the chief. We'll see how this goes with the next show, right, that comes to town here. But I'm confident that things will go smoothly. There's so many folks who've been a part of this, local leaders, tribal partners, national officials, and community members, those who've worked for decades to ensure that this got done. This bridge is an example of the work that can be done when we collaborate and create partnerships across all areas of community. Your persistence, your collaboration, dedication are the reason that we are here today. Because a community with only one road in and one road out is just one emergency away from tragedy. Safe, reliable infrastructure isn't just about roads and bridges, it is about protecting lives, expanding opportunity, and honoring our commitments to communities. Today, we're not just cutting a ribbon, we are opening a vital connection, ensuring safer access to Prairie Island for residents and guests, improving emergency evacuation routes, and strengthening links to the broader region and community. Our kiddos, our aunties and uncles, our elders all deserve this enhanced accessibility and safety. So thank you for your vision, for everyone whose hands have touched this work. Thank you so much, Commissioner Daubenberger, for your vision and everything that you've done. And I'm going to call out Levi as well. I know that your role has been incredibly important here too as our tribal liaison for MnDOT. I'm proud to celebrate this moment with you. And oftentimes my daughter says, you know, when people ask like, oh, what is your mom's job? Other than like, be ready. It is, she says, my mom goes on field trips and helps people, which I think is a pretty good assessment, right, of what this looks like. But what I also know is that it's not always tangible, what we can demonstrate to our kids, right? What policy looks like in action, what community collaboration looks like in action. So the ability to drive over this bridge with my child and to be able to talk about the partnership with the city and the tribe and the state was really powerful. And so I know that there will be many more conversations about what this bridge means to the community. But for me, it is a symbol of collaboration and what we can do together. And I'm just honored and humbled to be able to be here with all of you today. So thank you so much. And now I'm going to turn it over to Dan Coyle with the City Engineers Association of Minnesota. Come on up, Dan.
Good afternoon. My name is Dan Coyle. I'm an engineer with Kimley Horn. We were the consultant project manager for the city. I began on the project in 2011, and even at that point, there was a decade of experience that had led up to the planning that had gotten the project to that point. And little did I know that it would take 14 years to complete design, funding, construction to get to this point. And maybe just to share a little bit of inside baseball of how a project gets developed. You might think it's a lot about the engineering and the technical issues, and there are plenty of those, but the issue on this project was primarily getting funding. There was a very compelling case for this project. It was on the governor's top 3 rail intersections of the state to address from a safety perspective. It's very important for the Prairie Island Indian Community and for safety. It's practically important for the casino because of the events. They're huge concerts. If you haven't been out here, tens of thousands of people attend concerts. The peak traffic at those times requires Sturgeon Lake Road to be changed from 4 lanes, 2 in each direction, to 3 lanes in for beginning of an event, and then 3 lanes out at the end. So it's a tremendous roadway with a lot of different complexities, but funding was the main issue. And There are a lot of people focused on that issue at all levels, but I do want to call out Ron Seymour, who is sitting in the back in the green shirt, looks like a rock star. He's newly retired. Ron has Ron brought tremendous funding skills to the city when he joined the city 10 years ago. And he tirelessly, with other city staff, were working every potential grant program to try to find ways to develop the funding for this project, which had a great story to tell. It's easy to tell the story. It's hard to compete for those types of funds. So Ron really led the way in making all that happen, but it took time. It took a very long time. During that time, it let us work out the technical issues. It let us work through with the city and Prairie Island all the complex issues of right-of-way acquisition, of how do you design a roadway that meets the needs of the local users of the road. So it was really a fascinating project to go through, and very proud to have been a part of it to get to this point. I do want to call out a few folks that were part of the team. So on our team, we had Stantec Consulting as sub-consultants. So Jeff and Molly are here. They helped lead construction. And I also want to shout out Hoffman Construction, who won the low bid on the project with a very nice low bid that allowed the project to come in well under budget, which is fantastic in this day and age. So overall, a very successful, interesting, and meaningful project. Many city staff, and Jay Owens will tell that story. I'll introduce Jay here. Jay, if you want to start coming up. Jay Owens was our partner in crime with the city. He followed this project every day. He was an active participant in the entire project. So I'll let him tell the city side of the story.
Well, I have a couple notes. I usually just go off the cuff like Dan there did, and I might get choked up a little bit because I did work on this project a long time, and I worked with some great people all the way through. At Prairie Island Indian Community, at Treasure Island, at MnDOT. And this is the first time I drove across it, was today, coming out here. And I'm no longer with the city. It was hard to leave. I got choked up the last council meeting, as the councilors that are here know. Talking about leaving the city after being there for over 30 years of service to the city, and knowing about this project and working on this for a good portion of that career that I had there, actually probably all of it. 93 was the first TKDA feasibility study on this project. I just remember looking at that and then actually pulling out again when we got this going again with HDR before you got involved, Dan. And I'm like, whoa, the price has gone up a little bit from that feasibility study in 93. And then it went up a little more as we got into more things with the project. So it's been, I was lucky to be city engineer in Red Wing during a time when we were doing a lot of big projects. But this one I am so proud of being part of working with Prairie Island Indian Community, working with MnDOT, working with city staff to find the funding that we needed to put in place to do this. It was just incredible. And the other projects that I worked on were great. I mean, I was part of MnDOT's team for the river crossing and things, but we knew they were happening. We worked on this for a long time. We didn't know when or if. I know Ron Rosenthal, my boss, said he wasn't retiring until this got built, and he retired, and it was mine to try to get this thing finished and work on. So it was one of those things that if I remember correctly, at the groundbreaking, didn't a train come through right before I was done? Jeff, that's right, wasn't it a train? So I'm just so proud of it, and I'm proud of working with the state and Prairie Island and all of the city staff on this. And now I work for the state. I would never have guessed that, first off, that I'd be speaking at the same event that the Lieutenant Governor spoke at. Can you believe that? And not only that, but she's my boss too. So, but I do want a special call out though to the tribal office, the attorney's office. There's a lot of challenges on projects. One of the biggest challenges when I sat in an office with them and the BIA to talk about U.S. trust land, and we have MMB on the line, the Minnesota Management Budget, I believe, MnDOT, in trying to figure out okay, we're gonna buy this right away, US trust land. Is it going to meet the requirements that are required for the geo bonds to be able to be, I mean, it was a challenge. It felt like we were at a point where we might not get this project done. And working together in the Prairie Island, Jessica Stoley and Jesse Syme, they worked so hard on this and helped me do what we needed to do to make that a reality. So, like I said, I might get a little choked up here, but this project meant so much to me to be part of and to have the relationships that I formed with Treasure Island employees and Prairie Island staff and the tribal council. I'm just ready to do the ribbon cutting and celebrate a little bit. So thank you all for coming today. Thank you.